Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name's FM18 and you're watching the Dafuge Challenge, episode 68, with Enfield Town FC. Well, at the end of the day, we tried our hardest. After that 5-0 shellacking at Carlisle, we were at home against Boston United, and we had a really good home crowd here, 3,400, and we won 3-1. John Greenwood had a 9th-minute goal, Mungo Bridge had a 36th-minute goal, Lucas Green-Birch had a 75th-minute goal. This is after William Martell scored for Boston United off the opening kickoff. And then to cap it off, John Gabriel got sent off in the 91st minute for a double yellow. Next up was Burton Albion away, and we won that game 3-2. Ross Anderson had a brace of goals for Burton Albion in the 40th and 44th minute. John Greenwood had a 13th-minute goal. Barry Cousins had a brace, a 46th-minute goal, and a 66th-minute penalty shot. Then came Barnet at home. Another good home crowd here, about 3,700 people, came and watched a 0-0 draw. It was a very, very boring game. After Barnet, we went away to Exeter City and we lost 2-1. Barry Cousins had a 13th-minute goal to get everything started. Michael Simpson had a 66th-minute goal, and then Marcus Brown had a 93rd-minute extra time goal. That was just... We had the tie in the bag, and he just snuck through, and it was a nice shot. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, maybe not in the 93rd minute, but, you know, we'll deal with it. And we dealt with it by hosting Forest Green Rovers at home and absolutely thumping them 5-3. This is a really fun game to watch. Another good home crowd, 2,600 home fans. Paul Mullen got things off to a quick start for Forest Green with a goal in the 5th minute. Then Mungo Bridge and Barry Cousins had 3 goals in the first 33 minutes. Jason Knight had a 41st-minute goal, and we were 4-1 up the half. George Wilson brought Forest Green back within reach in the 51st minute, and Cassius Andrade had a 59th-minute penalty kick that made it the score 4-3. It was... I don't know. I was waiting for us to figure out how to throw it away when John Greenwood came through and scored for us in the 81st minute. We then went away to Stevenage, and we got absolutely thumped 4-0. Warren Fitchett had a hat trick of goals. Harry Beautyman had a 53rd-minute goal. The guys this game were just flat out awful. You know, about the only change from my normal starting 11 was I started Graham McDonald because Ward had picked up a niggling injury that was going to keep him out for a week. But, you know, of the 11 players on the field, 10 of them are what I would consider my best guys or, you know, my best first option at that position. And they absolutely fell apart. The fact that none of them were sub 5 is just amazing. Then came a 1-1 draw against Grimsby Town at home. Again, another good home crowd, 2,700 fans here. Jordan Gabriel picked up another yellow card. That's becoming a problem. Mungo Bridge had a 17th-minute goal. Billy Bodden had a 48th-minute goal. Joel Rafferty got sent off on a straight red in the 85th minute. But by that time, it was just too late in the game for us to really do anything. We then went away to Walsall, and we lost 3-1. Barry Cousins had a 17th-minute goal. Stuart Miller had a 12th-minute goal for Walsall, and then Keith Dudley had a brace of goals, 35th and 62nd minute. Too many guys just off their game. Gabriel picked up yet another yellow card. You know, it's late in the season. They're getting tired. I've avoided the major injury bug for the most part. And with this run of form here, which has been uneven to say the least, with 2 games left in the season, we've managed to hold on and secure promotion to League One. Right now, we are tied points-wise with Wickham, but they are better than us on goal differential. And no matter what happens, we are going to finish no lower than 3rd. This is a couple years ahead of schedule, to be honest with you. unexpected, but we got off to that quick start. We had that long unbeaten streak in the middle of the season. I'm still trying to figure out what I did right there. And after the loss at Walsall, because both Wycombe and Plymouth drew and lost as well, we secured promotion, automatic promotion even. Our 92nd goals so far, our second highest in the league. Our goals allowed are 14th best, which is really, really good for us. Longtime followers of the series will know that defense is not our strongest part of our game. So, some news and notes coming up that I haven't even looked at yet. So, Wycombe and Enfield Town won promotion to League One. Well, the $44,500 per week salary is okay. It's about double what we have now. The transfer budget of £113,000 is that's gonna hurt us. There's just no question about that. We might be able to fiddle around with the salary and get that higher, but we're definitely going to have to replace John Greenwood. He has decided he doesn't want to sign a new contract with us. And plus, I know I've got more than a few players who are getting automatic raises as a result of getting promoted. So, to be honest with you, I don't know how much of that £44,500 we're going to have to fool around with. We're going to have to see what happens. Beat the odds to gain promotion. We were picked to finish last. You would think that I would be coveted by a lot of high-profile teams, but as I mentioned previously, and especially in the midst of that 21-game win streak, or should I say 21-game non-losing streak, no one came after me, which I find odd, but, I wouldn't go there, but still, it's nice to be wanted sometimes. So we've secured automatic promotion. What I'm going to do is play the Doncaster game offline, and depending on what happens with that, I may come back and live comm the Northampton game. If Wycombe ties or loses and we win, we have a good chance of winning the league outright, and I'll come back for the Northampton game. However, if Wycombe wins and we tie or lose, then there's no way for us to catch them unless we tie. It's late. Plus, my air conditioner broke down today. It's almost 95 degrees here in the Midwest, and it's about that hot inside my house. But sitting underneath a fan, hopefully the filter's working. You won't be hearing that noise. But I'm going to play the Doncaster game offline, and we will come back after that to see where we stand with Northampton. Well, with one game left in the season, this is where we stand. Points-wise, we are tied with Wycombe. They are ahead on goal differential. They are playing 14th place Gillingham. I still haven't looked that up, how to pronounce that. We are playing 21st place Northampton. You'd think we'd have a leg up there. So, I'm going to set the best 11, and we will come back with the Northampton game in just a bit. And, like an idiot, I scheduled an under-18 game for earlier today, and a lot of my backups played in that. Well, today is our best 11 out in the field. Ward in goal, Medford Smith, Lee, Mitchell, and Gabriel as the defensive back four, Collins, Knight, and Archer as the midfield three, Bridge, Cousins, and Greenwood up top as the strikers. On our bench, we have Easton, Adams, Walker, Greenberg, Bamba, Kelly, and Manny and McLucky. McLucky and Easton are both U18 guys who didn't play in the friendly earlier today. If they get to the game, it's because I'm either way far ahead or way behind. Bamba is coming off injury, which is why he's not starting. Let me... So that's the game we're interested in there. Wycombe and Gillingham. Noyle with the throw-in. Dolly has it, and... What the heck was that? It totally did not look like it was going in. Okay, Noyle with the throw-in. McWilliams heads it forward. Dye heads it. Ward does his falling to his knees while reaching above his head thing. If he stayed on his feet, he probably would have stopped it. Well, crap. Well, Jack Lee picked up a yellow. All of my strikers are having subpar games. And Wickham and Gillingham are tied. 0-0. Loft to Wilkes. Back to Waters. Into Dye to Wilkes. Dye feeds Loft to McWilliams, who overran it, and his shot goes wide right. Coming up on halftime, Medford Smith with a throw-in to Collins, back to Medford Smith. Knight to McWilliams. Back to... Ooh, Cousins is there. What a goal. That was well done. Oh, he was offsides. Son of a gun. Still, it was nice. It was a good assist by Knight. Moving left to right now. Dye kicks it left. Wilkes runs it down, but he overruns it. Gabriel sends it up the field, and that is the end of the highlight. Greenwood's going to move to defensive forward. Greenbirch is going to come on for Cousins. Just not had that many opportunities. Okay, 20 minutes left. Going to bring Adams on for Lee. Knight's not having the best game either. So I'm going to bring Walker on and move Collins over to deep line playmaker in the center. We are also going to go to the overload, and Wickham scored. Ten minutes left. Well, second place in a season we were picked to be relegated is nothing to laugh at. Well, I think what I'm going to do is forward through the end of the season, and then we'll go over end of the year awards and things like that. See the goal of the year, and we will be back with all that in just a minute. Second place in League 2, 11,130 pounds. That's progress of a sort. Well, Jack Lee and Isabamba were the two players selected to be part of the overall best 11. Joe Fryatt is still the starting keeper, which makes sense. He was the guy who stayed there the longest. And the season awards. John Greenwood, Fans Player of the Season. Graham McDonald, Signing of the Season. John Greenwood, Young Player of the Season. He still doesn't want to sign a contract with us. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Goal of the season, Tom Collins versus Crew. I think this is... Let's check this out here. I think this is the one I think it is. Yeah, Archer to Tanner to Collins. Yeah, this is it. From freaking 20 yards outside the box. Chests it down to his leg. Chests it down to his foot, rather. And just bangs it home. It was the only goal we had that game, but it was well struck, as they say. Season review. Well, let's go over here real quick. Competition-wise, we exceeded all the expectations. The board wanted us to avoid relegation. We got promoted. They wanted us to reach the first round of the FA Cup. We got knocked out in the second round by Crew. That was the game Collins scored his goal in. Carabao, they wanted us to reach the first round. We got knocked out in the third round by Tottenham, and that was actually a key game for the season, even though it was a loss. And the Czech trade, they didn't care about that, and we got knocked out in the group stage. The Tottenham game was key because it was away at White Hart Lane and in front of 52,000 folks. We got half the gate receipts that put a decent chunk of change in our budget. Let us upgrade the youth facilities. Let us upgrade the training facilities. They're still not where I wanted to be for League One, but I'm going to take out the cup competitions here. So, starting here against ASC and Wimbledon and finishing here against Notts County was our non-losing league streak, which propelled us to the top of the table and ultimately into second place. We picked it up again with another win streak here, then kind of fumbled it away at the last bit of the season. But we did ourselves good enough here to get promoted. I think it was probably after the back-to-back-to-back clean sheets that I was thinking, yeah, maybe we have a chance. Okay, end of season team meeting. You know what? I think we can stay up next year provided we make the right additions to the team. And everybody loves that. Except those guys. Quite sure what happened there. I didn't see that reaction. But okay. The board absolutely loves me. There's no reason they shouldn't love me. Ramarni Medford-Smith was injured at Notts County, so that injury doesn't really count for us. So Wayne Ward was out for the longest 4 weeks with a twisted ankle. Nothing major this year, knock on wood. Yeah, we had some players out. I think the most injured was, a youth player. Well, Isabamba, 4 weeks. Or 4 injury. Isabamba was our most injured player. 4 injuries. The longest he was out was 3 weeks with a groin strain. And then there was like a week here, and then 1 to 3 days there. So we're doing really well there. Well, this is interesting. I don't know that I've seen this before. The board has announced that work has begun on the upgrade of the youth facilities. But they had to scrap the expansion of the training facilities because we don't have the funds. We're uncategorized in the existing youth setup. That's why our youth intake was horrible. I'm not showing that because I'm not showing the intake because, frankly, it would scare young children and those with a weak heart. We lose our senior affiliate because Bradford City's in League One. We're going to lose that affiliation. Squad-wise, some solid performances all around. John Greenwood again led the way. 29 goals, 19 assists, 9 player of the match awards, and 53 appearances. Mungo Bridge was right behind him. 28 goals, 20 assists, 5 players of the match. Barry Cousins had a nice breakthrough season for him as a full-time starter defensive forward. 49 appearances, 22 goals, 5 assists, 5 players of the match. Lucas Greenberg came on at the halfway mark. Was mostly a reserve player. Still had 7 goals, 3 assists, and a player of the match. Tom Ashton, also coming off the bench. A solid season for a player of his caliber at this level. 6 goals, 5 assists, 2 players of the match. John Archer made big improvements. It doesn't look like it, but he did. 40 appearances, 4 goals, 11 assists, 3 players of the match. Tom Collins was solid in the center. I can see why more than a few teams came after him in the January transfer window. 4 goals, 7 assists, 5 players in the match. Stephen Walker, mostly in reserve appearances. Stephen Walker, who split time as a starter and coming off the bench, 4 goals, 2 assists, and 2 players of the match. Jack Lee was pretty solid defensively, as was Johnny Mitchell. Jason Knight was quietly competent, I think you could say, as our center mid. 54 appearances, 1 goal, 5 assists, 1 player of the match, but a 7.04 overall rating. Wayne Ward, 45 appearances, 1 assist. No players of the match, though. That's kind of disappointing, but the 12 shutouts are a record I will definitely take. Issa Bamba had 2 assists and 2 players of the match. in 38 appearances. Highest rated player of the year was Tom Collins, just edging out Mungo Bridge. Finance-wise, we ended in the red, mostly thanks to Tottenham. £120,000 left in the bank. Still only getting 35% of the transfer revenue. The salary's going to go up due to promotion clauses, so we'll have to see what happens there. Still have £2.1 million of outstanding loans due to stadium expansions. Hopefully we'll start picking up some more sponsors and stuff like that as well. Projection-wise, I'm not going to worry about this too much unless it's the middle of the season next year and we're absolutely hemorrhaging money. Well done, boys. That's about all I can say. Well, first off, I have to apologize for any audio difficulties or oddities that you may have heard during these recordings. As I mentioned, our air conditioning went out. We broke out the fans, and I've got a couple downstairs. Now, the filter I have should take most of that out, but it can also make my voice sound really, really echoey. I think I have it fixed, but if for whatever reason it sounds odd, that's why, and I apologize. The guys are coming to take a look at it tomorrow. Hopefully it should be fixed, and we can get back to the status quo. This offseason is going to be interesting, and it's going to be very much like our jump from the Vanarama into League Two, except on a larger and probably more personally disappointing scale. We are a small club with a small reputation, no facilities to speak of, a minuscule transfer budget, and about £20,000 of wage budget to play with. But that's before the players who are still under contract get their promotion salary raises. Any free agents of quality are either going to demand a huge salary from us, or they're just not going to want to come here. We're just not that attractive to them, which means the core of the starting 11 this year will most likely be the same starting 11 next season, and they have to be good enough to keep us out of the relegation fight. I think if we can stay out of a relegation fight, if we can avoid being relegated, it'll be the best thing for us, because we'll get a little bit more money, we'll get a little bit more reputation. If we manage to hang on, we'll be building the bedrock of the foundation of the club that we should have been building 3 years ago when we were still in the Vanarama. I don't think anybody expects to get promoted this quickly. I don't think anybody gets upset they get promoted this quickly. I'm certainly not upset. If I sound like that, I apologize. I'm definitely not upset that we've been promoted. It's just a whole new set of headaches. And frankly, sometimes it's just not fun to spend 6 hours scouting and make 100 offers and have 99 of them turn you down. But, you know, it's also one of the reasons you play the game, to see if you can't convince that 4-star player who's on a team that's just been relegated down to come to your team for maybe a little bit more money than he was making there. Anyhow, it's going to be a fun, interesting, frustrating, I'm not going to say enjoyable, probably maddening is probably a better word to use, off-season, but it's totally going to be worth it in the long run. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave them down below. I'll answer them as fast as I can. My name's FM18, and I thank you for watching.